Hello and welcome to CrossFit Harrow's podcast. This is episode number 8, and today I wanted to talk to you about making a real commitment. Now, I'm relating this to fitness, but you can apply this to any aspect of your life. The rules are essentially the same. You can relate it to your work, to your finances, to your aspirations, whatever you want. But I'm going to talk about fitness. So possibly you're in a situation where you're not exactly where you want to be right now, and maybe that's because you don't understand what real commitment means, or your commitment's in the wrong places. Wanting real success in terms of fitness, you need to make a real commitment, and that's from the inside out, and that's based on decisions that you make day to day. That's based on how we spoke about last week about the signs of getting up on your first alarm. Did you have breakfast? Those are small things of making this big commitment. Most people try things, and the minute it gets hard or takes longer than expected, and we spoke about this in episode 1 about being bulletproof, and I spoke about it in other episodes as well. They say they quit, and it's hard, and they say it's not for me. I'm going to start with a new thing, because they get a social media craze. They've seen something, someone supporting something somewhere. They want the whole new motivation. They go out and buy new gym clothes, new trainers, new this, new that, and they feel that's their new them, their new year, their new them at that point in time. But actually, we spoke about this before, that all they're lacking is consistency, and they actually haven't stuck out what they need to stick out for long enough. If you're someone who's done that, you're going to repeat this cycle over and over again, from now till when you end up in your 50s, 60s, if not 70s, with not a shit life, but looking back thinking, I wish I had done better, and bitching about this trainer this, or I had this bad experience here, or this didn't really work out for me, when in reality, the truth is, you kind of fucked yourself over a little bit, because you just didn't commit to the things that were good for you, and you could have been great at something, but you kind of stopped. There's plenty of conversations that, whether it be myself or other fitness professionals, will have with people, and we do hear often, I've tried this, I've tried that, but actually the only thing you haven't tried 9 times out of 10 is sticking to something for long enough. It is hard. We know that it's hard. We've identified that. If you have to go, and you've got to go 100% all in. There can't be any doubt, because if you give yourself the option to quit and to do something else or take another route, 99% of the time, you're gonna. You have to train yourself mentally to stop quitting when it gets hard. And I'm talking fitness here. As I said at the beginning of the podcast, some of you can relate this to your work, to your finances, your personal aspirations. Some of you might be sitting here listening, you wanted to start this business and things aren't going your way, and or there's difficult times, but they're the times that are testing, and they're the times that you can make something from whatever it is that you're trying to start from. But you've got to push through. You've got to get on that boat, sail through the storm, and come out the other side. That's really, and I said this before, it's when the magic happens. What a lot of people don't get, and I wanted to kind of express this today, is it's always the hardest, it hurts the most, it's so competitive in the beginning, but you've got to stick out. Look, anyone can start something. How many times have you started something? How many times have you started a new gym program, or started a new gym, started something online? But actually, very few people can finish it. If you think about putting yourself into perspective of racing against comparing yourself to other people, in terms of you're all meeting day one. And over a 365-day period, if you were to say you're doing that against 10 people, let's say it's your gym transformation, or your, the results that you want from the gym, along the way, there's going to be people that drop out because it's too hard for them. As we progress into the year, whether it be 1 year or 2 years, people quit. They decide it's not for them. Their priorities change, and by 3/4 of the year gone by, then out of those 10 people, there might only be 2 or 3 left. So instead of competing against 10, you're now competing against 3, but you're still going. That's my point. You're still going strong. And along the way, you've equipped yourself with experience. You've equipped yourself, with knowledge, skills that the people who are just starting or always start something will never possess, because you get the upper hand, because you're gaining that experience through that period of time. We spoke about before. We live in a world of instant gratification. And commitment seems to be a lost attribute, and it's very hard to come across in many parts of life. Not just what we're talking about now. As I said, you can take this into any world that you're in, and the same rules apply. So with commitment being a lost attribute, it makes it it makes it so much more valuable. And if you can aim to be someone who can truly understand how important that commitment is and to go all in, you're going to get that competitive advantage. And over time, you're going to see those results that you want. It's going to happen. There's no reason as to why it can't happen. We're all our own worst enemy. We do slate each other or ourselves quite a lot. You pick yourself apart. And a lot of us maybe tend to see the worst in ourselves or in situations, and you kind of make up these, what ifs, or imagine what people might say if you attempt to do this. But when you want to do something else, in your heart of hearts you want to do something else, you talk yourself out, but you tell yourself you're not good enough. That you can't. It won't be worth it. Whether it's you don't see the value of it or you don't see the value in yourself. We try to convince ourselves that our circumstances are different, no one understands, whatever it might be. But that's that's what we're trying to eradicate. We're all very well trained at saying those things to ourselves, and we need to hear. We need to do and hear things around us that take us away from that. We're told things are the way they are, and that we should feel good about ourselves, but we don't, and there's something wrong with that. The problem is that we're being told that feeling great about ourselves is right, and correcting the issue is as simple as saying I love myself, which is the biggest kind of load of shit that you're fed personally. Because break it down, for me, you can't just be told, oh, you're fantastic, you're great, you've got to do this, oh, well done, etc. I don't think it works like that. And maybe you've experienced in the past where you do get kind of, let's say, people do try to give you that vote of confidence to boost your self-esteem, but there's nothing like boosting your self-esteem than going through it yourself and going through hardship. And as go back to earlier, it's not easy at the beginning. Why should you have self-esteem, confidence and self-belief if all you're going to do is kind of sit in the middle of the pack, not really impact anything, with no purpose, no mission, you're kind of just tricking through, telling yourself that you're not good enough, etc. Why would you have any self-esteem? So you've got to get through that bit, and these comes from like failures, and doing bits, making better decisions every day. A couple of pointers that you can look at in order to do this is, and it all goes hand in hand. It's not that you can just do one thing solely and then move on to the next. They all link together. Moving, as in physical movement, exercise, training. Do something every day, even if that means going outside for a walk. You're doing something that will start a process internally of boosting self-esteem, boosting self-confidence. You're starting to get the cogs turning, and then another thing that you can think of or you can do is nutrition. Now, with regards to CrossFit, nutrition is the base of the pyramid. Nutrition is the foundation. That's what builds the bricks above. Stay away from sugars that you don't need, putting unnecessary stress on your body internally. Like, get your food right. That will get you. It's a very it sends a very like subliminal and subconscious message that you start to eat right, you start to naturally feel better, you start making better decisions because the food that's going in you is providing you with good energy. You're fueled, your head's in the right place, you're accountable for what you're eating. You make better decisions off that because you're starting to build the self-esteem and confidence about the way that you look and about the way that you feel. Another thing that you can do to help combat this is reduce stress. Eliminate anything that causes you stress. Yes, there's always going to be stresses in this world, agreed, but there are things that you can control. Control the controllables, and then everything else will fall into place. As an example, through this period now that we've gone through in isolation or quarantine, is stop watching bullshit like negative, fear-based news, because that's causing people stress. Like when I talk to people day to day, it's very clear to see who has been watching very fear-based news based on the information that they're telling back to me through conversation, and it's installed in them. And it's not great because it through raising cortisol levels and just adding stress to the body and your mindset, it's not the best thing. The next thing that I would suggest is the people that you have around you, the community of people. You want positive people around you. You want people that will clap when things aren't going well, but at the same time will tell you to pick your shit up and get on with it when there are times that you don't succeed or you fail. Get up, learn from it, move on, do better next time. I link this one back to the beginning of nature in terms of moving every day. When I say move, you don't have to physically go to the gym, you don't have to physically do the most intense class, but just getting outside. Nothing beats fresh air. Just going out, listening to whatever your favourite music, listening to the birds, the cars on the road, whatever it might be that you like out of nature, go and do it because it will help you. And then finally, and we all do this, not so well, I'll speak for myself, I don't do this very well, sleep. As we get older, we tend to sleep less and less. Something that you can do is putting a plan in place to improve it. Set yourself a deadline where your phone goes off at a certain time, whether you read or you spend time with family, and you're not with social media or you're not with technology. You want to aim to have, if you can get 7 hours sleep, fantastic. If you can get 8, that's even better. But anywhere between 6 and 8 hours, yes, there is science proven that as you get older, you can deal with less sleep. But sleep is your opportunity to recover, where some of us, if you don't do the things that mentioned above, you're actually going to get less sleep because of the stress and anxiety that, throughout your day or your working day or your fitness day that causes you maybe to have lack of sleep. So doing those things, you've got to go out and earn that. Those little things mount up and they build confidence, they build your mental attitude, your ability to see good in a lot of things, and your ability to find opportunities. There's always opportunities out there for you to become better, to think of something new, to deliver something new at work, through your relationships, friendships, whatever it might be. There's loads of opportunities out there. But if you're in a negative state of mind and you're telling yourself you're shit all the time, and there's negative state of mind, you're never going to have that belief to go out and get whatever it is that you're after, or find those opportunities, because there's opportunities knocking around us all the time. But if you have that that tunnel vision, you're never going to see it. So if you eat like shit, you're going to think shit. And if you surround yourself with shit, guess what? It is a vicious circle. So self-esteem, confidence, and even self-belief, they're earned. They're earned assets that, you do have to fall back and feel. And, there are times where they're going to be knocked. But what you do about that is going to be the difference between how you react. So it's going to be the difference between you sitting there and letting the world stand on you, or you stand on top of the world. It's your choice. It's not a gift. And I don't think that, to some extent, maybe there's a bit of a character trait, but not really. You're not born with it. You can't go buy it. Potentially, there's the opportunity to, let's say, go through sessions, through therapy sessions, through other sessions that you can build on it. But those assets that we just talk about, self-esteem, self-worth, confidence, self-belief, that they're assets that are earned from work that you do, putting in the hard work to improve on those. and that work will 100% silence those inner thoughts mentally, you know, and you'll block out those things that people say that you can or that you can't do, because you'll be, you know, unstoppable. You will be bulletproof. If you want to have more self-esteem, self-worth, self-confidence, self-belief, you've got to do the shit that scares you, like until it doesn't scare you anymore. Where you are literally staying on top of the world. It's the only way that you are gonna, you know, get it. As I said, you can't buy it. It doesn't come in a can. You can't spray it. You've got to go and earn it. Like there's not everything in my life that I feel fantastic about. I've got to make some big decisions day to day. And some decisions are really scary. And I've made a lot of scary decisions in the past, calculated risks. Some of them have paid off, you know, and some haven't, maybe not so calculated. But I would absolutely guarantee you that through those decisions or those areas that are not so good, I will do something about it every single day to make sure I work towards the end goal of what the outcome I want. But the question is, do you?